you not enjoyed the evening's festivities?
You know, it's Halloween. It's
I've just seen death!
Probably some madman or one of those surfers that hang around the beach all the time.
Good boy.
Look how many of us. It's so
Henri. Henri's a very nice boy.
All
Sure.
right. And kill the music. Did something a little different there this time around and had some spooky surf sounds for some Halloween music. They're a local band out here in Arizona. I don't know if they're still playing anymore, but thought I'd promote them a little bit there. Pretty cool. So welcome. We have all of these lovely faces on the screen at once, and the way I'm looking at it on Video Ninja, it literally looks like the Brady Bunch, with Rachel like right in the middle.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Center square, man.
Who's Jan? I think that's important.
Can I be Marsha?
Marsha.
No,
I'll be the
Sophie is
housekeeper.
definitely Marsha.
Yeah.
So, lots of stuff obviously going on. We're going to have some bleed over from the regular Ashland show as well as Blood Ties for tonight. Obviously so, because we have Haley with us. So lots of stuff happening. Obviously, this is our Halloween game. You may want to hold the cord there, Abby.
I am.
Oh, drat. I was saying earlier on, she has a little bit like a loose cord or
A little bit
something.
staticky.
Yeah, and
Oh,
when
okay.
it comes in just right, it sounds like the old combat game from Atari.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
Absolutely does.
gosh.
Yeah.
So it's like the little tank is driving along, and all of a sudden, oh, she's getting ready to talk.
I was totally flashing back, and I couldn't remember, like, where is that from?
Yeah.
Nice.
It totally sounded like the Atari. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, if it could be feedback, I'm at least I could relate. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know. So, anyways, anywho, so we're actually starting off tonight. First things first, with the tail end of the last game that we had Trish at, with Isadora, Trish, and Trudy. Currently at Club Gehenna, listening to some tunes, and all of a sudden,
I thought we were at the Drachenflugel.
or Drachenflugel. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Club. I see.
I don't know Club Gehenna.
Well, right. In my mind, see, Malcolm had two clubs. The first one was Club Gehenna. Second one was the Drachenflugel. So.
What happened to the first one?
That one's out in Kansas.
Oh,
Kansas City
gotcha.
specifically.
Wait, the Dragonflugel is in
Ashland.
Ashland?
Yes. Drachenflugel is out here in Ashland. So, anyways.
Malcolm used to live in Kansas.
But he's not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
It just feels like those names should be swapped.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so the crowd, however, is popping. The music is going off. Where last we left off, quite literally, unfortunately, Trish spotted a familiar face in the crowd, and right as some people passed in front of that familiar face was gone.
And she hightailed it as fast as she could to the exit.
Okay. So, Trudy, at this point, you see Trish get up and like push past both you and Isadora in an effort to get out, basically to run for some reason, or just getting out of the booth at an alarm speed. Are you going to try and stop her or anything, or you just kind of make way, or?
Am I physically blocking her from
Oh, yeah.
getting out?
Yeah. She's going to step like right over to you if you don't do something.
Okay, yeah, I'll grab her arm and say, "Hey, now, what's the rush?"
Trish is going to pull substantially to try and get away, and just I am leaving right now. Thank you. And she's
this is a safe space.
no, it's not. And she's legitimately ripping her arm out of the grasp to take off to the door.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll your strength. Trudy, go ahead and roll yours.
I knew there was a reason that I kept this out. Okay. Try not to hurt my keyboard.
6 or higher is a success.
Just strength?
If you have potent, you can add that.
That is a no.
It's one success.
Okay.
Difficulty what?
6.
1.
Okay. So it's kind of a push. No one's really going anywhere. You're kind of getting forced out of the seat at this point as she's attempting to kind of bulldoze her way unceremoniously past you to get out. And Isadora like looks to the two of you and she's like, "Do you mind not making a scene? What's going on?"
I have to go. And she's head on a swivel looking around, trying to see, does she see him again?
No, you don't see any sign of anything. And so then she looks to Trudy and she says, and she just says nonchalantly, "She saw an enemy."
We need to leave. I need to leave. I just like frantically need to get out of here.
She says,
to go where?
She says, "Who is Jeremy?"
That's a discussion for another place and another time. Could we please get the fuck out? Wow.
So she gets up and stands and kind of smooths her, her clothing down, and she says, "You're still a rose. Exit like one, please."
Roses get trampled by larger beasts. Thank you. And she takes a hightails to the door.
Okay.
All right, I guess we'll follow her.
So you go, do you try to match her for speed?
No.
Okay. So you get to so you obviously run right up to the exit. The bouncer's just kind of standing there, and there's still most of that line, waiting to get in, sort of thing. Bouncer just kind of looks at you, so.
And she push on the door to leave.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're actually at the front.
At the front. Okay, so
yeah,
she's.
The problem is you came here with people.
That is the primal id brain does not care one freaking lick if she came here with anybody.
Okay, fair enough. So you get outside. I was going to say, I thought we lost Abby there for a moment.
Nope, she's here.
There we go. Okay, just a little bit.
She's just
a
holding
little bit.
very, very still.
Yes, she's
I
like,
have
be
mastered
very,
the
very
ability.
quiet. We're hunting Abby.
Move so slowly.
So you two, eventually, you and Isadora
Going
come up.
on a snipe hunt.
Yep. So you and Isadora come, walking right up front, and at this point, Trish is like bolting around the parking lot trying to find the car, or a means.
Well, she's
to,
more just trying to find a place that's like secluded and that she would feel safe in. So someplace that's slightly enclosed, not necessarily a vehicle, but just like any place that seems as if she has one exit, one entrance. She can put her back to the wall.
Oh, you could have done that at the entrance exit then, if that's the case, because the bouncer's up there too.
Yeah, she feels more comfortable outside.
Okay. So then with your back to the building then or something?
Yeah, like in a little like alcove or something.
Sure. Okay, that's fair. So then like just catty corner from where the opening's at, there's like, a couple bushes, and then you know how the building looks. It has that goth cathedral kind of look to it. So she's just kind of pressed herself up against one of the alcoves along the outside. It's got the nice stained glass window and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn to Isadora and say, did you get a look at the fellow?
I got a little bit of a look, but not from what she saw. I picked up residuals from her mind.
Could you ask the bouncer to keep an eye out for that fellow? Maybe a description?
Are you certain this individual would actually try something with me here?
No, I just would like to know if he shows his face around again.
Very well. I'll be right back.
And I'll proceed to wherever Trish has gone.
Yeah, it's maybe 10 feet from the door, but just
okay.
Like we described, it's off of the door. She's not in the way of it by any means.
And I'll take her to the side a little bit where we can't really be overheard easily. And I'll speak in a very calm tone.
Okay.
And you can see like her eyes are like flicking back and forth, and like she's gone into like almost
she's on the swivel.
Feral panic mode.
Why don't you go ahead and roll your charisma and expression, Trudy? Unless you wanted to use awe.
No, I'll just chance it.
Okay.
Going
au natural.
Maybe I should have. That is 0 successes.
Okay.
Well, snap.
Well, it's not terrible.
These are still Brittany's dice.
Yeah. It's not terrible. You didn't come out and like sound, horrible, like, we're all gonna die or something like that, to her, to set her off. You just weren't as
convincing.
You just weren't as convincing as perhaps you had hoped, which makes sense. You're still kind of new.
So I'll pull her to the side and say, now, Miss Trish, I understand you think you're in a bit of trouble, but you should believe me when I say that this is a safe area. No one can harm you in here. First of all, you're with friends. And second of all, this establishment is owned by the Giovanni Don of Ashland, and he has defenses here. There are resources to keep it safe.
I understand that, but there's just things, and I've been safe before and not been protected, so I just would prefer to take care of myself. Thank you. You can see she's kind of like her jitteriness has kind of started to calm a little bit, but her eyes are still very like wide and spooked.
Can we take you somewhere else?
I just away from here would be fine. Yeah. And she like grips onto Trudy's arm like intensely, like holding, almost like a child with like a mom when they're really, really scared.
So Isadora comes walking back at this point, and she says, well, they saw nobody fitting that description, but if he was able to slip in and out, then no doubt that there was something at play.
He was there.
Oh, I'm aware that this individual was. You did not dream it. Obfuscation works against the human mind, dear, but it does not work against the cameras, so it will take some time for them to vet that.
All right.
Can you give us some kind of explanation as to who it is we ought to be looking out for?
You should kind of look around a little bit and just.
I'm going to usher them back to the car.
Sure. Okay.
Hey, well, it's no, what, you can see her mind is kind of like running a mile a minute and she's trying to grab thoughts as they zoom past, but they're moving so fast. She's like, let's just get away first, and then I will explain what happened. Well, not in detail, but I will give you an explanation as to what that was. And she kind of like spookily looks at the club again, like just away.
Trudy will open the back door of the car and kind of shepherd her inside and like do the seatbelt.
Yeah, and at that point,
she gets in.
At that point, Isadora's kind of looking. And then she looks back to you, and looks at Trish, who's like freaking out, and then she gives you a look like, "You're making me drive." and she sits in the front and pulls out because she knows you can't drive for nothing.
I have people for that.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I have an app for that. But she just goes back to she ends up going back to the group haven.
Okay.
So it's I mean, you've got the description of it before, but it's for those of you who might be watching, it's a house in a quiet suburb area of Ashland. Usually there's not much in the way of street lights around it. It's got kind of a gravel road on the front and sides. But the house itself has several rooms, a pool out back, and the pool house is finally fixed. But as you guys as you end up pulling up for the night, Ben and Remus, somebody's actually pulling up unannounced to the house.
Is it a car that we recognize?
No, actually do not.
Okay.
And then I mean, initially, no, but then Remus, that's a creamsicle. What the heck?
I was about to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, they're driving.
Took the creamsicle.
Who is driving the creamsicle?
Wait, they're driving in my car?
Yes.
Ben looks outside and goes, "Oh, hey, they're done with their joyride or whatever they're doing."
Wait, somebody stole my car?
It's not stolen. It's right there. They just borrowed it. It's fine.
Who took it?
You'll see in a few seconds. Just wait for him to come in.
It wasn't me.
So
yeah, if you met Trish.
Who's Trish?
Okay, you're gonna meet her probably in a few seconds.
Is she the one who stole my car?
Hey, Davy Jones.
Just wait. Just wait.
The door comes open. First one in is Isadora in all of her goth rocker glory, just looking like she stepped out of a heavy metal magazine, just striding through the front door. Next person, you don't recognize, and of course it's Trudy. I'll let Trudy and Trish describe their characters.
So Trudy is 5'2", platinum blonde, has it pinned back in a bun, very professional looking. She's wearing a tweed Chanel suit and cowboy boots and pearls.
Trish is they look almost like sisters. Trish is also about 5'3", and she has incredibly long blonde hair that's ringlets, natural, beautiful ringlets that just go straight down. She wears very dark clothing, and she has a jean jacket on that's obviously been around for a hot minute. It's just like in tennis shoes and a bag, because she never leaves anywhere without her bag.
But she's still got kind of a shooken up look about her a little bit. Although probably
Yeah.
not as much as before, but she still looks a little kind of nervous. As you come walking in, of course, house is pretty much the same as, when you left it. Jesse right now is actually sitting on the couch. Not that you care much, but Jesse is on the couch right now, trying to master Street Fighter, with his overly sized thumb sort of thing. So it's not going all that well, but he's enjoying himself.
As soon as we get into the house and coming through the door, just gonna go sit at the closest like junction in the room that I can, with my back against the wall, looking outward.
So as we come inside, I'll say, now who is this young man that you're so afraid of?
All right, so I didn't explain exactly what happened previously to the other people. Like Ben here knows a little bit, and I don't. Wait, who are you? Looking at Remus.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the owner of the car that was stolen.
She immediately points.
Oh yeah,
That was not me.
Yeah, Isadora hands you the keys, and she says she handled wonderfully.
Who?
Bit ostentatious, don't you think?
Wait, am I being chastised for my choice of vehicle that was being driven by other people?
Well, it sounds like.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that apparently the Gangrel were the only clan that came with manners.
I technically did not have a choice.
So to be factually correct, the car was stolen and returned, and she was kidnapped.
Thank you.
Who stole my car then?
I did.
Why? You couldn't ask first?
Have you
to
seen
borrow
it?
it?
Have
Yes.
you seen the car? It's lovely.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. Your
And I
car
didn't leave you
privileges were revoked.
vehicleless. Dear, you happen to have a very fine camper van outside, which I might add comes with blood.
Yeah,
In an
I
emergency,
know.
you would be much more served using the van than this ostentatious car that I happen to quite like.
Listen, lady. I barely know your name, and you are trying to tell me how I'm supposed to deal with like my belongings. And I think
Oh
like
no, of course not. I'm simply telling you what I did.
with Remus, like this is where we're starting to see a bit of the Ventru
Mm-hmm.
kind of peeking through, where it's just like I, if you had asked, it would have been fine.
You weren't
But
around.
the fact that
But it's okay.
Huh? No, it's not okay. Just the lack of respect. Who are you? Like, oh my God, I can't wait to not live here. I'm willing to bet that my fridge is probably emptied of blood as well.
Again.
Again. And
I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is probably a really weird scene because Remus he looks like he's 18, but he's admonishing people who probably look way older than him for not being respectful.
Oh yeah, should we
Feels like a roommate situation. You have bad roommates. I'm just saying.
should we describe who all is in the
Right.
house that we're seeing?
Yeah. So Remus is um he's like he looks like he's 18. He's got like a dancer's build, like a ballet dancer. Very slim but very like kind of broad shouldered. Walks with a lot of grace. He's wearing really fine clothing, but he's also got very like visible like fangs on his like peeking out through his mouth, and there's like kind of there's a bit of a wild look to him, but there's like this veneer of civilization that is
GQ.
really showing through. Yeah.
He's so a combination of GQ and wild. So we're talking about like professional, the Great Doors advertisement guy. So modeling their gear, looking quite rugged, like it's appropriate for him to be wearing it and trucking around, in the wilderness, but looking pretty handsome while doing it.
Pretty boy, masculine man. Got it.
No, that's millennial lumberjack. He's way better than that.
Because he still looks very, very young. Like I don't even think he has like a beard at all. He's just like very fresh faced.
Okay.
But he's also now just kind of like aghast at he's like if you had needed help, I would have been more than happy, but like you were chastising me for being upset about you stealing my property.
Who said anything about chastising? I simply complimented.
Oh, thank you for the compliment.
You're welcome.
Do me a favor. You can keep your compliments and keep yourself out of my stuff. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
She presses her fingers against your lips and she says,
No. No.
She says,
I knock her hand away.
She says, little man, you're too young to know what bad things I can do to you.
Oh, snap.
If you would like some details, your roommate, she looks over to Ben, could fill you in, or you could just leave it at, I was the individual who talked Adam into appearing in a music video.
And that means what to me? That you are the leader of the leader of the circus?
She looks down at your knees and she says, I'm surprised they're not quaking.
Listen, you don't scare me. Keep your hands off my stuff. If you want to use it, ask first. That's all I'm asking.
She just holds her hand up in his face. Little man. Trudy, I'm sure you can get a ride from here. You have people for that.
I do indeed.
So I will leave you to the fuss. Good evening. She just waves to everybody and walks out.
It was nice to meet you.
Of course.
Sort of.
I'm just looking at Ben like am I crazy, Ben?
No, but here's the thing, kid. Keep this in mind. The older you get,
the more your manners slip out of you.
Well, it's a weird thing. You go one of two ways. You either get so much power, I guess, that you just think you're automatically better than everybody, or you learn things and realize we're all trying to be on the same team. You can figure out where Izzy's at. And she's not wrong that she could probably do things that you didn't know were possible. I had to fight her, and that was decades ago. So you don't want to do that.
I do apologize for the
rudeness,
inconvenience. Ms. Isadora is something of a force of nature.
I really didn't have any choice. She just kind of showed up and like took me with her. So I also apologize and thank you for letting me use your house. You can see Trudy, you can see like she's kind of come back into herself, and her Southern upbringing is definitely showing of wanting to be gracious and thankful and whatnot. And she's also desperately trying to avoid having the conversation she knows you want to have. But it's a lovely home. So thank you very much.
Now, if we could get down to business, I have places to be. But it seems to me that if there is a new threat to Ashland, you may need to share the details with these folks so you can be prepared should it come to fruition.
I know. So when I was embraced, it was a little bit of a chaotic moment. And there was an earthquake, and I was in the studio, and everyone died. And I woke up in the hospital. Well, not really hospital, but I woke up a few days later and was what I am now. And I kind of had the world explained to me in a simple term. I was only 18 years old. I was beginning my life. And erase that. I was 21. Sorry. And I started my life as a kindred, and it was fine. Honestly, I had my own personal qualms. I don't really drink from any people. I get it elsewhere, and it's just been the way I existed because I just didn't feel comfortable with it, with my Christian upbringing, and every life was important. And one day, the man that I loved, I was going to marry, that I thought was dead, showed up, and he tried to kill me. Not because he knew what I was and thought I was evil, but because he had been changed too and embraced. He wanted to rip my throat out. Came to find out later he was a Sabbat. And that's who I saw in that club, and that's why I've been running for 30 years. Because anytime I get with anybody, he's there. And it never stops.
What's his name?
His name is Jeremy.
Do you by chance know which clan embraced him? Although I understand with the Sabbat, that's
I don't.
less an indication of abilities.
I didn't really stop to ask him when he was trying to rip out my throat. So,
Wait, so
no.
you've been running, you've never actually spoken?
No. I didn't really want to talk to him when he cornered me, and his entire clan was there and trying to. I'd never seen anything that evil before in my entire life. If I had still been who I was, I would have said he was possessed by a demon. But knowing the world's a little bit different than what I thought it was when I was alive, it's anyway. So that's why I've been running. He always shows up wherever I am. I don't know how he finds me. I've been all over the continental U.S. and he's just always there. So that's why. And she looks at Ben and says, that's why you found me where I was and why I was running and why I was scared. And now you know it all. Yay for sharing time.
Well, it seems to me that we need to figure out if he is indeed in town or if he is some sort of illusion or something. Find a way to track him, and of course to keep you behind friendly faces that can help protect you.
I don't want anybody to get hurt because of me, though. Like, I don't want to pull all of Ashland into this. Like, it's easier for me just to leave.
That is not how anarchs work. You never have to think that. It's a team. We're not Cam. We're definitely not Sabat. It's a team. This douchebag's trying to kill you. He's made a huge mistake. You know his name. You have a picture of him or anything? Anything?
Storyteller? Do I have a picture of him? I don't think I do. Do
not
I?
anymore, no.
No. Okay.
You could probably find one like by contacting, his family, but then that exposes you. So it's been one of those things of like you could probably do it, but
Oh, was he ever in the newspaper?
no.
Because he was a. Oh no. Okay.
What about like classmates.com or something?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like an old school.
You could try something like that, but that probably, if your better bet, not necessarily classmates.com, but if you could find someone who had one of your yearbooks, he would definitely be in there. That would probably be the less riskiest way for you to try and find a picture of him.
So no, I don't have a picture.
Outside of your mind, of course.
Okay. All right. It might still be okay. Look over to Trudy. We can give Flames a call. See if she can do her scrying thing. Find this guy.
Ms. Damaris, that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, it's worked pretty much every time before.
I did not necessarily get the idea that she took kindly to me.
She acts that way to everybody. She's not. She's particular, but she'll help. She's an anarch.
And you hear the pause button hit on the Street Fighter game, and Jesse chimes in since you guys are all talking there, and he says, "Oh, that's because she's on a path of honorable accord, meaning they don't have a whole lot of humanity, but they have like their own sort of like honor path."
How do you know that?
How do you?
Wow.
Yeah. How do you know that, Jesse?
I read a lot because I don't got much to do.
Wait, hold on. He has books that he can read to learn all this stuff, and I'm learning it on the job every night.
You always seem like busy with stuff. If you want to know more about like what were they paths of enlightenment, I think that's what you guys call them. I could probably help a little.
Thank you. So cordial. Wow. I'm not being sarcastic. Thank you. You're a great roommate, and I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question then, since we're kind of like we're conversating?
Sure.
What's with the gold toilet?
My uncle is really crazy. He's the one who bought the car too.
Oh, so you got some like crazy rich uncle who just like buys you stuff?
Essentially.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Y'all have a gold toilet?
Yeah, we do. It's very weird. Well, they do. I'm not. Yep.
I wasn't part of the house when I bought it.
No, that's a newer addition.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. When I find my own place, we'll take the gold toilet out with it.
I heard once that there was an art installation, like randomly, that it was a gold toilet, but that the whole thing was that the artist was trolling everybody and like making a joke. that it was art, and you sit
Oh,
on. And is it like that kind of a thing? Like, is your uncle like that kind of a person?
no, I think he just likes the idea of putting his cold butt on a gold toilet.
I never got a
Okay.
feel for modern art.
I don't think
It's
I
good for investments, but it sure is ugly.
I'm good with comic art. I got lots of it.
God,
Jesse,
Oh, you
comic art is very
So
interesting.
I,
I
you ought
agree
to
with
talk
you.
to Agaya. She is big into them comic books too.
Jesse,
oh,
why aren't
she
we?
that she that gargoyle girl.
Hmm.
Yeah. We met once or twice at the comic book store.
She likes that James Lee fella.
Do you mean Stanley? I mean,
No,
I've been
no,
on the
no.
run for 30 years. You got it. Come
James.
on.
No, I think
Oh
you
no,
mean
Stanley.
Jim
Oh
Lee.
yeah, no. She's more of a Brett Booth fan like I am.
No, it was
Oh.
James.
You mean Jim?
Jim.
Oh, Jim.
Oh, Jim. Oh, Jim Lee's amazing.
Yes, Jim Lee. That's the
Jim
one.
Lee's fantastic. He did the Wildcats and Batman
She likes him.
and X-Men. Jim Lee's amazing.
You guys have these like old taste in comics from like the 90s.
Well, most of us, I believe, were born long before you ever were a twinkle in your mama's eye. So,
I think like at the mention of Remus's mom, I think he kind of like turns away from kind of this whole thing. I think he's gonna go find his butler.
I said something wrong, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, not necessarily. That could have been other Remus. Maybe he got like offended or wanted to go buy something or something. He does that sometimes, and he'll come back with like a fancy phone or new suits or he even bought some people one time.
I'm sorry. What?
What?
Yeah, the Jeeves guy came with like some sort of contract and whatnot. He's got himself some like paid employees and whatnot.
Okay.
Oh, honey.
So he didn't he didn't purchase them.
That's
He
not the same
employed
as buying
them.
people.
Yeah. Yeah, those are
yeah,
two
no.
slightly different things.
Sorry.
How does Jesse know all of this stuff?
Sometimes when I conversate, my words get ahead of my mind. It's a part of my creation. Apologies.
No, it actually makes perfect sense why you would say that. I understand, but yes, there are two very different. That one is bad, the other is actually very good for the economy and stuff.
So he hits the pause button again and quickly turns and starts playing Street Fighter.
So I'll go ahead and call Flames, see if she's available. Sound good? Yeah,
You
let's
want to do
that.
this right now?
Why not?
Or
if he's out there.
Or Ben, a better idea would be to gather everyone because you already know there's other stuff that needs to be discussed.
Oh yeah.
Probably be a good idea just to get everybody on the same page at this point.
So Ben will go ahead and send a text to the group chat. Everyone meet at the group haven to discuss some things.
There you go.
Okay. Nurse will tear herself away from her research.
Okay. Keep in mind,
Same.
Daenerys, keep in mind, your new roommate is not added to the text chat as of this point, so you'll want to.
Oh, I am not added to the group text yet.
I'll realize that after she's almost out the door. Like, oh shit, I forgot Abby. And so she'll, sorry,
Dahlia.
So she'll go back. I don't know where she is in the house.
One of your many rooms that you've got here now.
So she'll find her. Hey, if you're interested, we're gonna go to the group haven. I guess there's a big powwow happening. So.
Well, sure. Let's go.
Okay.
And she like puts several bookmarks in several books she was perusing, and then follows you.
Okay. Cool. Lock it down. Boop, boop.
Okay. So it's
And
going
head
to
out.
be probably about 30 minutes before everybody eventually kind of rolls up. I take it Sophie is showing up now?
Yeah, so wait, so is Trudy gonna stay for all of that?
Well, it's up to you. I mean, how do you want to handle
Okay,
it?
so
Do
I'm
you want to play
thinking-
two characters?
That's the question. yeah.
Trudy does have Trudy does
I
have some
am
other things to go on, and you can always just have Xandria show up in your place, which usually is
true.
what happens.
So Trudy is going to get the first and last name of the person in question,
Okay.
and she's going to have her people look into him.
Okay.
Also, and she'll leave Trish in the hands of these folks while she goes to look into some other things.
And I take it you provide your contact information to Trish as well.
Sure.
That sounds like a very Trudy thing. Because
Yeah.
Okay, so eventually, at this point, a little bit of a time lapse, everybody winds up showing up. The only person that doesn't show is Lily. Everybody else is here.
So I would.
And Xandria, of course, shows up. Robert would have let Henri know that you got the text. He is having to jerry-rig some things because you have decided to live in the sewer, so he is trying to find ways to accommodate that. Again, it's been awfully difficult, but he has let you know and would have driven you there.
I'm sleeping in the dirt right now with my new power. I'm experimenting with that.
Okay. So where exactly in the dirt then?
I don't know.
Just some random lot.
I would like drive till I felt safe with Robert, and then just like here, drop me off here.
Some random lot. Just so long as Robert knows where exactly he's dropping you off. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit paranoid right now, so
that is totally fine.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
he can come pick me up, and then I'll show back up.
Sure. Okay.
So for once we're all there, if Lily doesn't show within like 10 minutes or 15 minutes of everybody else being there, then I will give her a call.
Okay. So
I am concerned,
no
knowing
answer?
what she has.
Yeah.
She answer?
No answer.
Hey, Ben, Lily's not answering.
She isn't?
Mm-mm.
Ben tries to give her a text.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on? You alive?
She
Should
seemed.
we go check on her?
Well, when I last talked to her, Camille apparently was really pressing on her to get the items, that there's some big thing coming that he needs to be released to be able to, you know, the messed up story behind that. So I'm concerned that, I don't know, he's influencing her.
Yeah, that's not good.
What is going on with Lily? I've been in my own little journey. Where is she?
Well, you remember the stone, right?
Oh, yeah, we should probably tell them what happened.
That was
Yeah.
gone. Like so you took the book, you took the stone, and I got that the cave. I'm not there anymore. So
Right. Well, she's got the stone, and it's been talking to her.
and this is why I wanted nothing to do with this stone. It's talking to her.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
honestly, it might have been better if we probably left it in there. But yeah, there's. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. The stone, the obsidian slab.
Is somebody watching
actually
something in the background?
I don't know. Yeah, I hear something
Because
too.
it's awfully loud. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Anyway, so basically, the obsidian slab that we recovered from the that's her
Yeah.
static. We recovered the slab. It's actually been at Lily's, which I don't know if that was necessarily the best idea anymore. But in it is actually the I don't know, essence, the soul. I don't know what you would call it. This entity of Kamel, who is considered one of the fallen, like way back in the flood times.
No, you mentioned that when you were at the cave when we first walked in.
Well, he's been talking to her. It's pretty much been confirmed, unfortunately.
That's why I said destroy this obelisk, and you were like, no, they should disrespect this.
We didn't know what it was. Thank you very much.
Fine.
But we know that there's something in it. Like,
yes, he's not in his physical form. Basically, he's in another realm, so to speak, the way that it was described, I guess, to her. But he is really pressing on us and Lily to release him because he is basically saying that there is a big threat that's coming and that we won't be able to defeat it without his help.
That's what they all say.
Yes, and the whole reason he's in that slab to begin with was because he pissed off the wrong person. And by person, I mean God.
Yeah, I think that's a bad idea.
how long have we known about this? That this
Only
thing
just this week, like not even a couple days ago, right, Jerome? Like, what's the timeline on this?
Yeah, within a week.
What if we just put it back in the cave and just kind of cemented it over?
Henri's already had that cave demolished, I believe, at this point. Right?
We could find another cave. We can make a cave.
I'm liking this idea. I'm liking this idea.
Just bury it.
Yeah.
How about we solve the first problem of where is Lily? Let's go find Lily.
Yes.
Let's see where
Oh,
she
She's
is.
probably
Yeah.
at her house.
Yeah, well,
Possessed
we
in
can
the corner.
we can worry about what to do with the slab once we figure out like if it's even still there. Let's go check up on her first.
Yeah.
I don't care about some old piece of rock or who's in it, but Lily is part of our family, question marks. So like we should at least make sure she's okay.
No, I know. I've been working with her a lot this whole week, me and Abby and Ben, to try to figure it out. So I know where she lives. I don't know if everybody should be going, but I mean, at least one or two of us should go check on her.
I used to
I
live
really
there.
hope
I
she
would like to
didn't
check on her.
decide to go to the Shadowlands.
Wait, what?
What?
The stone can be used as a portal to the Shadowlands.
What is this?
What?
If you have the right ritual.
Yeah.
Obsidian
Does
is
she, though?
widely used for those types of rituals. Can be connected to the Shadowlands. So that's why
Okay.
I don't know if he is in that realm of the Shadowlands, this Kamel individual.
Okay, well, knowing that, we have to go now. We have to go now.
I need a ride. Who can I let's go.
Oh, God, come with me, librarian. Jeez. And Ben starts heading out.
I follow Ben.
I'll go with.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming too, and I'm texting.
We may as well all go.
It's a party to her parents' house. Yay.
We're talking about there being a possible portal, and there's a creature in there that was locked in there by God. I don't think.
Okay, so my understanding, and then we'll talk about this as we're going. My understanding is that he was wanting a couple of items to be able to communicate for longer periods of time. I also think that maybe these are items that he's going to try to have us or her acquire to be able to get out of that thing. Whether that's through possession or what, I don't know.
Is this why you guys were asking about the midnight augury?
Yes, exactly why. Because apparently that's the only black market area or place that you're going to get the kind of items that he was asking about.
Stone wanted you to get the items?
We were researching what exactly he was talking about.
The demon in the stone, not the stone itself, but it's the demon inside.
Yeah, and the only way that, and I had to think about, okay, where would you get these kind of items? And then, I remembered the Midnight Augury, place that my sire talked about a lot. I've never been myself personally, but apparently you can get these kind of things. But honestly, it's each one. They let literally anybody in there.
You're kind of breaking up, Rachel.
Um,
Yeah, I think it might be your headpiece is going out or something.
shouldn't be. It's fully charged. Okay.
Okay, well, we can talk about that later. Let's
On the
make
way.
sure that Lily's okay.
I'm
Trish, why don't you come with us? I don't know if I feel okay with you being left alone just now.
All right.
Nobody's told me about the request to search for her ex-boyfriend yet, by the way.
No, we have not. We have for sure not yet
Right.
said anything.
Right,
I'm gonna
right now.
switch headsets real quick. Sorry.
Sure, go ahead. No problem.
Right now, there's a kindred changing that sign that we put up in front of Ashland saying it's been this many days since
0
cataclysmic
days.
event. Yeah. Also,
So-
I'm texting Jeeves to like, hey, let's make finding our own haven like a priority, please.
Okay, yeah. So he said he sends you. Well, while you're on the way there, he just fires a text off to you and he says, "Yeah, I've got all three of us looking for one." He says the market sucks right now, sir. If you want to pay extra to find something, we can, but I mean it's hard finding something that I think would meet your tastes.
Yeah, I'll say I understand. I know you all are working hard, but I think we need our own house, kind of thing. It's becoming more and more clear. Well, I think we may take Jesse with us.
Can't have him.
Okay.
He's going to be my tutor, and I'll pay him in comic books. He's going to teach me about the vampire world with flashcards.
He's all kindred Kuman.
Yeah, because I need the Duolingo for vampires because he knew that he's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, she's a gargoyle. I was like, I thought she was literally made of stone.
I like it.
So
He was made by a Tremere,
Yep.
That's fine. He's cool.
Tremere know about gargoyles.
Well, he and I can play Street Fighter together.
So collectively, everybody goes over in your respective vehicles over to Casa de Lily. Her car is still out front. You don't see anything like blown up or anything. You can see some lights kind of flickering on the inside, like somebody's watching some TV.
Ben walks up to the front, knocks on the door.
Her mom answers, "Oh, Benji, how are you doing today?"
Doing all right. Is Lily in?
Oh, yeah, she's in. She's staring at a wall right now. I'm told she's just recovering.
Could you lead us to her, please?
Of course, sure. She looks around and sees there's like a whole bunch of it. She's like, does anybody need anything to drink?
I look at the group and I look back at her and I'm like, Miss Lily's mom. I don't think you're prepared to.
We can't hear you, Rachel.
I don't think you're prepared for us. It's okay.
Still can't hear you.
I think thank you for your hospitality, but I think we need to just check up on Lily. She hasn't been answering our messages.
Oh yeah, she's been it's a mental thing. I guess she's like resetting or something. She does this every once in a while. It's like a meditative thing.
Did she do this before she got the weird stone?
Once in a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah, we just want to make sure she's all right.
Oh, sure, of course.
Is that any better? Can you guys
Yep.
hear me?
We can hear you just fine now.
I just had to reboot the thing because I switched headsets. Sorry.
No problem. You are good.
I was saying
But
that
you're not in the middle square anymore.
that's okay. I was
Now,
going to say
girl
that
is- Aw.
Circle gets the square.
her parents actually are very prepared for us, believe it or not. And if you want a refreshment, you actually will get the right one.
Did I? I mean, I used to live with Lily. Did I know this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, then I'm speaking out of character.
So
Now,
if
did I-
anybody's
yeah.
hungry and she's going to look at Haley, you can probably get a drink here.
Staring directly at her with an almost like defiant look, she says, "Yes, I actually would really like a drink. Thank you."
Okay, just I'll be right back. One moment. And she says, Lily is actually in the den. I think she's almost done with her meditation.
Huh.
Ben heads that way immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll follow suit.
Same.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody kind of follow, and she's just kind of sitting there, just like slowly swaying just a little bit.
Hey, Knives, you in there? Looking around, is the obelisk anywhere here, or must that be in a different room?
No, that was actually moved. You wouldn't know this, but it was moved.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go, while he's looking at her, I'm going to go to her lab where I last knew the slab to be.
Okay. So you go walking downstairs. You see a rather large black man, got a kind of a nice fade, going in his head. He's wearing a Southside Souls leather jacket.
Hey.
And he is just kind of perusing some books.
I have contacts with the Southside Souls, so
sure
do I know him?
Actually, you do. His name is he's not the leader of the gang. He's just one of the guys. His name is hold on a second. Lawrence Jackson.
Hey, Jackson.
Oh, so he turns and he looks and he says, "Oh, Damaris.
What are you doing here?"
I was taking a moment to peruse her library."
But why? Why are you here?
Oh, I'm sorry. You must actually recognize the physical form.
Oh my God, is that Kamale? Are you Kamale?
Yes, I am.
Oh, fuck! And she just kind of stamps her foot a little bit in defiance.
How did you get out of the stone?
Is anybody else there with her, or with Damaris, or no?
So
I think I would have followed you. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know.
She was kind of a part of all that. So yeah, sure. And he says,
How did she?
I spoke to Lily and her family, and we came to an agreement to get the things that were needed, as well as to bring me across.
You made her do that, didn't you?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
And what do you want?
Right now, I'm simply looking at her library. I'm waiting for her to finish.
Finish what?
I'm gonna strangle her myself. The problem is she'll live.
It's from what I understand, some Tremere will meditate to relax. It sort of centers themselves.
So how long are you going to be in that body for?
He looks at you a little incredulous. He says, "I was unaware that there was a time limit given for the inhabitation of bodies. But since you ask so politely,
I just want to know how long you're sticking around. Look, this is all very sudden. She wasn't supposed to do any of this. She was supposed to wait until she talked to the rest of us to be able to make an informed decision."
I'm certain that that was the arrangement. However, you're going to need my assistance, and there was no time to wait for your group powwow. And from what I'm sensing, Looks like you brought most of the city here.
Well, I didn't bring them so much as this they all decided to come with. But at any rate, she's just gonna kind of put her head in her hands, like, okay, I'll be back. And she's just gonna turn around and go back up.
He nods politely, sets one of the books back, and kind of goes thumbing through another one.
She is like practically running, tripping on the stairs up.
Dahlia stays down and wants to talk to him.
Okay. And he says,
so
can
who
I
are
offer
you exactly?
I'm Camille.
And
Officially,
what does that mean?
But this body also goes by Lawrence Jackson. But apparently
That's fine.
Damaris recognized him.
But why are you here?
I thought that was rather obvious. You're going to need my assistance.
With what?
Other fallen angels, you prefer to call them demons. It's a rather grotesque nomenclature, but I understand.
And how do you know they're coming?
Oh, I suppose she did not translate that part of it. I have an innate sense to detect these things. It's how I knew that most of your vampiric kind were actually standing above us in the
And
first floor.
how can we trust you? How can you prove you are who you say you are? And that you're actually here to help us?
Well, I have come with something to trade. Admittedly, this did come, I am aware, as quite to the shock, but I am painfully aware that you lack the ability to deal with my kind. I am prepared to help you with that. I have something else up my sleeve that I think might interest the rest of you, but I will wait to see how the rest of your party reacts to me. Outside of Damaris. Oh, and I do not go by Rocky, as your Benjamin once said. The rock is not an entity unto itself. And then he thinks for a moment, he walks over and puts a cloth over it.
So, is it still a gateway to the Shadowlands?
It could be, but it is more a spyglass of sorts.
So you covered it so no one can watch us. Can they hear us?
I'm certain they could. Other raids have ears to hear, so to speak.
So we shouldn't talk in this room.
Not in specifics, but I'm much obliged to actually speak in generalities if you would like.
We can wait until everyone
Of course.
else. And she just looks at him suspiciously.
So at this point, Damaris comes stumbling up, because they have the nice, the long hall carpets and whatnot, the real swanky kind of look. So she's kind of stumbling over that carpet. She's gets her way out in the den, and just as you get into the den, Lily comes to and just kind of sits forward, and Lily has this feeling of wow, that was the best sleep I've ever had.
And I see her finally, as I'm coming up, do I see her come out of it?
Oh yeah, just start and give a big stretch.
So immediately she's going to do a beeline for her, and she's like, what the fuck have you done?
What is going on now? She just left and she came back. Now she's all mad. What is going on?
Camille is in a body.
What?
You found a body?
He is inhabiting the body. She followed his instructions to perform the ritual to get him out of that fucking mirror.
Whose body?
Oh, one of the Southside Souls members that I know.
Is he dead?
No, I don't believe he is. He is just inhabited by Camille now.
Possessed.
Oh, dear. Oh,
and he is downstairs as we speak, thanks to Lily.
I text Jeeves to also maybe look in for houses outside of Ashland.
he wants to talk to all of us.
So maybe Lily, you can speak first. And what is going on?
I'm shocked. And she has this really sort of pissed off, sort of almost feral look on her face. The fact that you did this without, after everything we talked about.
Shelly, you're muted, by the way.
It's a long story.
I don't think it was very
Really?
long.
It's really simple. He got into your head and made you do that. I asked him if he put his influence on you, and he said yes.
So
and right then her mom comes like walking in and provides the drinks for anybody who wanted it. And it's, I mean, it is blood.
Lily's gonna take one.
Blood in a nice glass.
Is it like beautiful blood?
Did you specify that was your requirement?
I would have asked if they had anything beautiful on tap.
Okay, they unfortunately do not then.
Right.
I am not drinking it. I will drink it.
Right.
Yeah, she's gonna just turn around to the others like, it's already done. Like literally, we had no say in it. He is now in it physically with us. He has managed to get out of the slab and is now in driving somebody else's body.
I think this is really not a good idea.
It's too late. He's here with us, and if he's here with us, he is very old and probably very powerful.
How do we get him back in the rock?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Does he have,
Yeah, he didn't give me the. Yeah, I don't know.
He didn't. He doesn't want back in after you've been, put away that long because you pissed off God. Like, yeah, you're gonna want out after a few million years or however long they say the the world is.
Did she know that the others are coming, Jerome?
Well, you're actually
We're all
in the
right
den
here.
with them.
Yeah, I know that I'm in the den with them. But I mean, does Lily know that the other watchers are coming? I mean,
Other watchers. Yeah,
well,
I have no
the
idea.
other
Angels, you
fallen.
mean, or
I mean,
demons?
the fallen.
I personally have no idea what you're talking about.
His brothers,
The
the
thing
fallen
that
angels.
the thing that he's warning us about.
Only
Yeah.
that he's been issuing that warning to you. Yeah.
Okay. He's got a warning for us, and I think that we should listen.
Who is this guy?
Listening to demons is not normally a good idea.
No.
Wait, he's a demon?
Well, he's
What it
a
sounds
fallen.
like.
He's a fallen angel.
Which is a demon.
Which is a demon.
Well,
I thought he was just some crazy cultist. I didn't realize that we
No.
were dealing with demons. Oh my god.
This is God era.
I mean,
Demon,
he's
like
not like an
angel. Like this is for
infernal-
real.
He's not like an infernal demon. He was
Punished.
he was punished by God.
So is it,
Yeah.
That's
How do you
a
get away from that?
demon. That I'm
isn't
pretty.
that worse than him just being a devil that was spawned by other devils? He's fallen divinity. Like, oh my
I'm
god.
really curious about Haley's face right now and what she's thinking.
Well, Trish is born and raised, born again Christian.
Oh, sorry,
so
Trish.
she-
Sorry, I did say Haley. I meant your other character. Sorry, I get your names mixed up. My apologies.
No, it's okay. No, she's like fully born again Christian. Like we're all talking about freaking demon possessing somebody, and they're in the house. She wants to run.
Yep.
Kid, you're with me, and Ben starts to head downstairs to greet this dude.
Okay.
I
Wait,
marched
who's
down
kid?
after him.
Oh, Remus. Okay.
Okay, guys, just when you get down there, he's very I don't know what's the word. He's very
Manipulative.
articulate. Whatever. Rachel can't say the word.
Maybe we should have him come up here.
At least we'd outnumber him, sort of. Maybe.
I don't think it would matter.
I don't either. Damaris just kind of
Well, then maybe we should all
is in
just
defeat and
leave.
just kind of goes down and then.
Or no.
I think the new girl has a good idea. Just leaving would be quite fine for me.
Lily's going to follow down behind them.
Oh dear Lord.
Okay. So you hear right behind you, Abby, you hear some footsteps coming down the steps.
Are we all going downstairs then?
No,
I'll
it looked
meet
like it was
upstairs.
it looked like there was only 3 of them going down initially.
No,
Abby's
I
already
say
gone
that,
there.
I say that in character. That's that I saw.
Yeah, I was
Well,
right
if you
behind
need
them.
help,
I'm
Trish
taking
is
off my
hanging.
jacket.
Okay,
Trish is staying upstairs.
sure.
yeah, I'm gonna be guarding the stairs.
Okay, so you're at the top of the stairs.
Sure.
Okay, so Abby, Remus, or sorry, Abby, sorry, Dahlia, Haley, Dahlia, Ben, and Remus, and Lily, and Damaris have all walked down.
Yes.
Okay.
I probably followed right after Ben.
Okay, sure. So as he sees that all of you are coming up, he says, "I don't think that there's enough chairs for everyone down here. But if
And
we
I
want to
don't
do
think
that
we
here,
should stay down here with potential wraiths listening.
well, in addition
we
to
need-
that, this is her laboratory. So if there was some sort of frenzy or fight for some reason, as I sense some panic in some of you, I would hate to see her items get damaged."
You're
Well,
incredibly.
you're a very.
It's hard to be sympathetic with that right now.
Yeah.
You're incredibly calm for somebody who's telling us that demons are coming.
Well, they don't know I'm here.
Oh,
And you're
that's a
very
relief.
considerate.
Well, because I've been released, I made a promise to Lily that I would see this through, and once that pact is made, I fully intend on honoring that. Provided, I suppose, that the rest of you allow me to do so.
Can Ben
Are you
get
like
a
by
read?
some pact, like blood pact? You can't.
No, it is not some sort of blood pact. That is something that your kind handles. Well, I don't do that sort of thing.
I'm saying, is there a way that you have to follow through with what you promised Lily?
No, of course not. I mean, if I really wanted to be a jerk, I could say no, but that doesn't benefit me.
Aren't you a fallen angel?
Yes, and thank you for making that that specific a difference.
He's a demon.
For sake of argument, let's put it this way into your terms. I would not call you a K-Knight because you are not one, despite being one. Do you understand?
No, but it's fine. You keep going.
You call yourselves kindred. Yes? I am in the right crowd?
Some of us do.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who do that, you do not identify as a K-Knight because maybe you don't like that term, it is not something which you're used to, or there are other things that you don't like that do identify as a K-Knight. I prefer fallen angel, if that's what you would like to say. Elohim is also accurate, although not quite as much anymore.
So you're
Ladies,
here
I
to
think we need
help
go
us?
downstairs and see what they're doing down there. It's taking a while.
That is correct. That is the pact that I made with Lily.
I'm gonna yell down the stairs.
On reaction,
Everything
starts up right
okay?
behind you.
No.
Wait, guys, there's not going to be enough room for everybody because honestly,
Yes,
Sophie needs to hear this.
Let's go someplace where there are chairs so we can converse like civilized people. Is that all right? I would really not like to have anything damage her extensive collection. She has an impressive occultic collection.
Damaris just goes back upstairs.
Okay.
I follow Damaris.
Okay.
Ben steps aside. Is like, yeah, after you, Camille. I'll take up the rear.
Very well. So he just walks up after the two ladies, lets the other two follow up behind him.
Right.
And as he passes, he says, Henri, Sophie, would I call you Baron or Sophie? I understand you have a title.
Have you
You're
met him
the
before?
fallen angel.
I
How do you
apologize.
know me?
You may call me Kamel if it helps.
I have a new face. How do you know me? This is the Victor. I chose this special.
He smiles.
I'm gonna do aura perception.
Sure.
What is this damn demon's powers?
He prefers fallen angel.
Thank you. Yes, I do.
The
He's
body
more polite.
that he's in is she's saying this to you guys is one of the South Side Souls. Like I said earlier, this is technically Lawrence Jackson. That's how he's known.
And I do apologize. He was the most capable individual that I could inhabit in such a short time. He actually died in an automobile accident.
Oh shit! When did? Oh. Okay.
You did not possess him.
So you didn't actually, you didn't actually possess his live form then.
No, I did not. That is not how we inhabit bodies.
I was seeing the possession. Maybe it was just insanity then.
So he waits until you guys get out to a larger room, wherever, living room, den, whatever, just so there's enough chairs for anybody who wants to sit that they can.
What a pace. I'm gonna walk back and forth.
So,
sure.
Trish positions herself as far away from this creature as possible.
If he was dead, did you somehow like make him alive, like undead?
That is a fair question. No, I did not. The spark of life that inhabited this form is no longer. Where he went, I don't know.
Think bodysuit.
But we can only inhabit a body if it's been recently deceased.
Okay, I was gonna ask how long ago he passed. Okay.
So he died, and then you just like, ooh, yay, empty bodysuit that's can suit me. Did you like heal the body, or
Correct. That there is a divine transformation that happens when we inhabit a body, and any wounds that they may have suffered, like the horrific back break that he suffered during the car crash, healed.
So what are you then? A wraith?
No.
I don't. You're inhabiting a body. This
far
is
more than a wraith.
New territory for me in body possession.
I understand. Hence why I offered my assistance for the release. And then he stops for a moment. He turns and looks at Trish, and he says, "If I may, but a moment. Your rendition of Father's Eyes was very touching. Rivaled Amy Grant."
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about now?
Oh my God, what is happening?
It's quite all right. I understand the shock.
Who is this immigrant person?
Not important.
And with that, he actually visibly just kind of deflates. He's like,
Can I try
How have you?
again?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Can I try aura perception again? Since
Yes.
I was
Go right on ahead. It's been enough time.
How in the world? How in the world would you have known that?
There are a number of different ways, but given my, I don't want to say incarceration because that wouldn't be an accurate term. Displacement would be a better term. I had little more to do than watch. So I watched frequently. Admittedly, I didn't see you live. I happened to have seen it on a video.
Well, you're seeing me in death now.
As it may. You actually see sort of a deep blue aura, but none of the like fiery aura like you would pick up normally when you spotted something infernal. So
Ben
I understand you have
turns-
lots of
okay.
questions.
Ben turns to Knives real quick and goes, "First, are you okay? If he made you do this, are you all right?"
I'm okay.
All right. So if it was so important that you're taking over dead people's bodies and forcing friends to release you, what are you here for?
Well, first and foremost was to be released from the Shadowlands. I understand that you know precious little of our kind, but in a supernatural sense, we do not normally find ourselves there. Much like you would not find yourself there.
Great. Glad you're not in the Shadowlands anymore. What are you doing here? What's the big hurry?
Well,
He-
ideally, I wish to be released and be amongst the living for once in
He
quite a long
doesn't.
time.
He doesn't read like a demon to me,
He
Of
said
course
fallen
not.
angel.
for what that's worth.
Of course I wouldn't.
Do you are you evil? Because we're full up on evil people in Ashland.
I fully understand. We're all evil in some extent. But
agree.
do you mean, do I have malicious intent towards any of you? No, I do not.
I don't care about us. I'm talking about the people who live, the good people who live in this world.
All of us live with sin. You have to be much more specific.
There's a lot of people out in this city, in this world, that need help. They don't need another apocalypse. They don't need another great flood.
Oh, I see.
Is that what you're here for?
No, there are some of my kind that do, however. Let me put this again in terms that you would understand. You were still clashing with it's been a while, but you're still clashing with the Sabbat, correct?
When are we not?
Okay. They have your gifts. They're arguably not much different than you, except for political bent and perhaps some egotism and perhaps
Are you
wrongful upbringing.
insane?
Philosophical.
Oh,
So none of you are, at least as far as I've seen. And he stops and he kind of looks. He says, with the exception of one, and he kind of looks at Henri for a second, and he says,
Well, now,
he says, none of you seem to be on such a murderous bent that you are.
I have been put on hold.
Savoring in the loss of innocence. So, in that, we are the same.
I have not killed very many since I have made my promises.
And he smiles and he says, "And you've actually done a very good job."
Thank you, the fallen angel. I've been complimented by yes. I start cursing in French. I'm just like, well, mom, that's okay.
He responds in French.
Looking at him like
he says, surely, Henri, even basic Roman Catholic would understand that the angels have the gift of tongues.
Yeah. I appreciate, and I'm talking to French. I'm like, I appreciate this. I would be cautious. So, and I slip back in English. I'm like, he knows how to speak French. He's very good.
Jerome, is there like a roll, like an insight or something to get a read on this guy? Like
empathy. So you'd be looking for perception and empathy.
Yeah, because like he's saying a lot of stuff, but like, I'm just curious if I buy that he's not like a malevolent creature.
Sure.
Ben's going to make that roll too.
Go ahead.
And while they're doing that, I'm going to text Caleb.
Okay.
And say, have you or your contacts heard the name Camille?
Okay. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6? Okay, so that is 4 successes.
Alrighty.
Wow.
5 successes.
5 successes. Yeah. Aside from the fact that you guys are creeped out at seeing something completely new that you've never expected to see, you're not getting a bad read off this guy.
Okay. I think
Several thousand years old here.
that makes Remus like kind of his hackles lower a bit, like kind of the wariness of a new threat is like waning, and so he's just like, I think he calms down a little bit.
He says, I must ask first, because I've sensed it, but I don't have, because I was on the other side. Clearly, it was difficult to get an accurate read. I do know that if you have not encountered it, you may have seen it at some point in time, but you have encountered something infernal recently, yes?
Yeah.
After this discussion, I'm sensing there's still some apprehension. Do you have a method of taking me to your last point of contact with this? I could discern to get a better reading. It would be like your psychic impressions, but a little bit more defined.
Tell you what, could you do that on me?
What would you like me to discern?
All right. That's up. I took a drink. Couldn't help but take this drink from probably the being we're talking about, and haven't felt any different, but who knows?
So he nods. He says, actually, you have tasted both the infernal and divine.
Oh my god. Are you talking about evil? I don't know if she's evil, but well, I mean, now based on what you're saying, yeah. Evil Sophie?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't kill her.
Yeah, she's back.
With
He drank from her.
The balloon? Wait,
Wait.
what?
She's back. Yeah, apparently when you
You're
kill her,
muted, Lily.
she can leave that body, find another one, and take it. And she did.
He nods.
Yeah, we
He
caught her
says-
at a nightclub.
He says, as I've indicated before, our kind can inhabit recently deceased bodies. This particular one, it sounds like, has the ability to change the form as well. So they've taken an interest in you then, Sophie.
Did she kill anyone while she was there?
Oh, you mean at this particular event? I don't know. I wasn't.
I'm looking at
wasn't there.
Ben and Damaris.
Not that I'm aware of.
What I could tell when I was drinking from her, because I actually got to see a few things. Yeah, pretty sure she did. That's kind of her thing.
Why did you drink from her?
I'm pretty sure he was under a huge compulsion.
He must have been.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's strong.
When we were fighting her before, I was attracted to something about her. Tried to pull me in.
Yeah.
Wait, there's an evil version of you?
Just looks like her.
Complicated.
Yeah, and it destroyed my car.
The creamsicle?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Don't
Just sit back. She's just gonna drink her drink. She's like, I don't even care anymore.
Bet you wish that was spiked now.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I mean-
you know what to do about this?
I do know how to assist you. Yes. And if if I am near the proximity of this individual, I'd be able to identify them, hopefully before they spot you.
Are they a fallen angel like you, or some other type of?
Presumably, based upon what you've given to me, there are, without splitting hairs, much like you have multiple clans, there are two basic forms of what we are. There are those like myself. We are former angelic hosts who were obviously cast out after the war from heaven, and we are now that we have escaped the abyss, we inhabit the recently deceased. Our power is such that we do not consume the body in which we inhabit. Then there are those that were released forcibly by mortal sorcerers many, many, many years ago, and they were stripped from the abyss. They are called the Earthbound. These particular ones cannot inhabit a body. They are far too powerful for it. They would corrupt it, and it would essentially burn out far too fast. They inhabit items and use thralls and minions to do their work and their business. They are completely corruptible individuals.
Why? This might be a little off track, but what did you do to become a fallen angel? Why were you sealed away? If you're not a horrible creature, like who did that to you?
I was going to ask
part
that
of
same
history.
question.
One vital mistake. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, and what was that one vital mistake, considering the fact that you were in the presence of God, you were not loyal to him, and you are now here. So why should we trust a word out of your mouth?
And I completely understand where it is that you're coming from. It's a long, sordid story, but if I could give an abbreviated version of it, what you have heard about Lucifer is not completely inaccurate. However, that was not how it was posed. What you read in your Bible is obviously the end result. There's no reason to go into the weeds, so to speak, because that would obviously make it needlessly long, and perhaps that's for the Almighty, I suppose, to define if he so sees it. But we were tasked, all of the angelic hosts, in some form or fashion, once man was created, to love man and protect man. And man was innocent in the purest form. And I don't mean just like a child, toddles around. Just they did not have understanding as you have understanding now. To put this in perspective, an angelic host once called upon the winds and orchestrated through another host an entire symphony of air to be blown through the crevices of a canyon to create perhaps some of the most angelic sounds that you have ever heard. Think pipe organs on a grand scale, if you could. To emphasize the innocence, do you know what Adam did? He stepped on a toad. And Eve looked at plants. It was lost on them what this beauty meant. They did not have that understanding. And so Lucifer, as persuasive as he can be, introduced himself in a quorum of other angels who were debating the topic of as what they should do and how to better assist the Almighty in obtaining, or I should say not in obtaining, but in maintaining the perfect world in which he had divined. And some thought that it was wrong that we love a creature so much that we allowed them to remain in ignorance, that they could not see the beauty as we see them, as we understand them. As I said, Lucifer can be very persuasive. And it was deemed that love was the reason we did what we did. And so he raised an angelic army to, in essence, liberate humanity and storm the heavens. And of course, we all know how that turned out.
So you were at Lucifer's side,
Many of us were at one point in time.
fighting
That's how we
against
got to be here.
fighting against God to give humans free will.
And they had free will. They just did not have the understanding of what it meant. Again, it's that childlike innocence. But it is what it is.
So you're saying that God intended for humans to be like perfect dolls that couldn't understand true beauty, and Lucifer was acting in our best interest?
I did not say that. Unfortunately, that's where we lost sight of the divine's true plan. We also had free will, as clearly as you can tell, and that led us down the absolute wrong path. Now, this is, of course, my perspective of what had taken place based upon the events that happened. You will find others that are still attempting to carry on this holy charge and to either burn everything down to the ground because they just want to see all of creation go, or they truly believe that garbage about liberating humanity, and that somehow this sin nature is going to make you it made you understand, of course, but it also resulted in humanity being kicked out of paradise. And then there are those, much like others, who have seen what has happened, and we're called reconcilers. We wish to continue to find a way to make amends to eventually earn our way back, if possible.
So you want to help man like you did at the beginning before you sided with Lucifer, when he tricked you into believing that you were helping.
If possible, and continue to assist what angelic hosts that are still around.
So then why are you here? Precisely, not in general terms. Why are you here in this moment, in this room?
Well, since you weren't a part of the original conversation,
I wasn't. That's true. Someone else should probably take over.
So he says, I had been trapped in the Shadowlands. My body at one point in time, many years ago, long before the United States was ever a thing, was sundered, and they had a mastery of the spirit that I did not, and managed to throw me into the Shadowlands. So it has been quite some time since I've had a physical form.
Who was they?
Was it those cultists in the cave that we found?
No, they're not those cultists. He says they are actually long since gone, but they are also of the angelic host. You would probably refer them to demons.
So how are you going to help us fight these individuals, and what are you wanting in return?
I have what I need at this point.
Why would you bother helping us then?
A body?
Correct, a body. And because I made a pact. Or do none of you still believe in honor?
Her feathers are going to get ruffled at that.
I'm
going to make a control check.
I'm going to say, like, if you can see everything as it seems like you can, like, are there not others that you could go to for help with this? I mean, we're not exactly we're monsters.
I failed.
Like, I'll do what I can to help people, but isn't there a better option?
I actually botched.
Damaris Frenzies.
Oh no!
I have 2 1s and no successes.
So she just goes and starts, like
at the honor thing. She's like, motherfucker.
Can I try to intercept her?
Yeah, I'm. There's enough of you there that because it's not subtle or at any point. Like she just all of a sudden and like lunges in and is trying to thrash him. Safe to say, a couple of you, grab a hold of her and hold her back. You don't have potence, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay, so yeah, you guys hold her back, without much of a problem. And he reaches out and places his hand on her forehead, and he just says, "Be calm," and immediately and she just comes right out of it.
I don't like my honor being questioned.
This is George. I like him better than Adam. Can we keep him?
It's not a puppy.
So you made a pact with
Drama.
Lily.
Keep him?
For what?
That was George.
Oh, that was George. Sorry.
To be released, that I would assist you in whatever problem that you had with this infernalism.
I think it's pretty clear
I'm aware that you have an acute lack of not only knowledge, but ability to deal with it. And as it's been evident by Ben here, it's taken a particular nasty interest in your group.
So then what can you do to help us to learn about these individuals or learn about this to be able to prepare and defend ourselves against it?
The gifts of Cain through your blood magic allow you to create wards.
Yes.
Such wards would no doubt inflict great pain upon this individual and also protect your particular havens.
What is that, ward versus demons or ward versus... But I know of the ritual that he may be talking about.
Yeah. And the type of ritual he's talking about, really the Inquisition is the only ones that have it on your side.
Ooh. Wait, I think I know what ward you're talking about, but that's not common knowledge for sure.
Right.
So I'm guessing claws aren't going to do it.
Teach us?
Sorry?
Of course. And I would also be willing to see to it to ensure that this individual does not bring any more harm to your group. And as one final measure of good faith, as I'm aware that there's much distrust in this room, Benjamin, your daughter needs your help.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
You recently inquired as to the state of your daughter, and your friend was successful in finding her, from what I understand. But in doing so, the legions on in the Shadowlands have a very strict policy of no contact with. He motions around. They call this the Skinlands, the realms of the living. They now believe incorrectly that she has reached out.
So what's happening to her then?
I will be willing to not only assist in your infernalism issue and this demon that is plaguing, but I will also assist you with your daughter.
Wait,
in my time in the Shadowlands, I have gained a level of mastery over the spirit that will allow me to assist. But I needed a body in order to do so.
Are you saying you can bring people back from the dead?
Shh.
Could it be?
It is tasking, and I would not advise you to just go to any angel to attempt to do so.
You mentioned a little earlier that
cost.
You mentioned a little earlier that there are others like you that are trying to basically make up for what you did. Are those individuals also willing to join forces, so to speak, against those others that are not on the same page?
I have not had direct contact with them for some time. Since I last had contact, we call ourselves the Reconcilers.
Right.
There is a conflicted relationship with the other political groups, I would say. But it's not as if we go to war with one another. It's more we attempt to see eye to eye with one another as best as possible, and in some cases there is obviously no reconciliation with some.
So we're wanting to go after the non-reconcilers then.
This sounds like you're dealing with one, yes. I don't know which faction it belongs to, but it is.
You think that the evil Sophie is one of them?
That's what he's been saying, yes.
It is most certainly malevolent, yes. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it was one of the fallen.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely one of the fallen.
Do you know which one?
I do not.
Okay, so there are wards that we can keep them out of areas, but that doesn't prevent them from going somewhere else and wreaking havoc.
That is true.
What else can we do?
You're going to need my assistance to end this particular threat, which means we would need to team up and trust one another enough that this is going to be successful. But first, I need to see who it is that we're dealing with.
I'll take you there now. I'll take you there now.
Okay.
When this is done, I'd like to ask you a few questions not related to this.
I have a few questions myself.
I'm available for whatever questions that you might have as I see them.
And Ben is leading the way to...
This is a little off topic, but could we stop at a Whataburger?
What?
I will buy you one. Let's go.
Do they even have Whataburger out here?
Yeah, do they have Whataburgers up here?
Yeah.
I thought they were only in Texas.
No, they're not. Yeah, we've definitely got them all over Arizona. Yeah. So for safe to say, yeah, there's a Whataburger here.
It would be First Burger.
Dude, yeah, don't let your first burger be a Whataburger.
Go to Five Guys at least. That's much better.
And so he's being honest at that point, and he's like, he says, I don't really care at this point. You have to understand. I haven't had
food in...
I haven't had actual food in quite a long time.
So you eat and you have food, and it's...
Yes, of course. That this is a living body.
Can you...
That's just weird.
Will you age and die then?
No.
Could you turn one of us back into a person? Is that something you could do?
No, unfortunately, I cannot. The curse of Cain is actually quite strong, and the Almighty was very insistent upon that one.
Sorry, you're stuck.
Sorry, kid.
How aware were you of goings on in the what is the word for it? The not-skin lands.
Locked up?
The Shadowlands?
No. The what?
The Shadowlands?
Yes, the Shadowlands. Oh my gosh. How aware were you of things happening in the Shadowlands when you were there?
I was there. So are you referencing when you crossed?
Yes. What kind of stir did that make?
Oh, quite the stir. Keep in mind, I did not involve myself. I'm, a resident alien, much like you would have been.
Do you think
the Shadowlands?
Do you think we may have repercussions on this side?
I would assume that if there was some sort of direct repercussion to be happened, you would have seen something by now. If I may wager a guess, again, I am not omnipotent. But the little stunt that your group pulled when you attacked the Nihil, the closure of the, I believe you call them specters,
Right, the hospital.
put a literal fear of God in many of the wraiths in the area.
Oh, good. Okay.
Well, that's good.
Okay. Shall we go?
So at this point, everybody just go into a burger joint away from Lily's Haven.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
What? I mean, we don't all have to go to the burger place. What was the club that you went to?
Karma.
Sorry.
Club Karma.
Okay, we'll meet you there.
On the way out, Trish is just says thank you to Lily's parents and gives her back the glass.
Okay.
And
She's like,
so it was
well,
wonderful. Thank you very
no,
much.
thank you. You come again. You're so polite.
We'll be
Thank you.
back, Mom.
She says, you make sure that you make friends with this one here. She's very nice.
Thank you for having us over again.
Of course, Henri.
I'm going to go with Benji.
Okay.
Wait, I gotta jump off for a second.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So those of you going to the burger joint, we'll go to you guys first. So who is going there?
I would have gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may
right
have
back.
to give up my
Okay.
seat if the demon's driving with them.
Trish is still too uncomfortable being around him.
Oh yeah, no, understandable. So you're going to the club with the others?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
She's the little tag along.
Hit the ride.
I'm going with the club as well.
Yep. Okay. So those of you go to the burger joint.
Yep.
So he's like looking around and looking at the menu, and he leans over and he says, "So again, without sounding ignorant, so outside of a burger, what would you normally recommend that I have with this?"
French fries.
Fries are common. Do you like bacon? Is that, if you're an angel, wait, are you kosher? Are you allowed to eat bacon?
He says,
It's an angel, not Jewish.
"Yeah."
Remus doesn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that
Well,
so much.
No, and
but
that's fine.
There's a lot of faiths that don't eat pigs.
Yeah,
'cause
and
they're
so
considered
he
dirty.
he waves his hand and he says, "No,
love
that's very Old Testament. I'm quite all right."
You're very Old Testament.
I love it.
He's before Old Testament.
Yes.
You should get one with bacon and cheese on it.
So a
onion
burger.
ring.
So it looks like that's pretty much everything that they have at this one. So it's cheese with bacon
And French fries with mayonnaise.
and mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Mixed with ketchup. But I'm not there.
Yeah.
And a little bit of pickle juice.
He says, "Huh.
What is happening?"
All right."
And some Tabasco sauce.
So he places the order and he pulls out a wallet and he says, "Oh, hey, he happened to have cash. Good.
I got it.
Oh, well, thank you."
I'll pay for it.
I'll pay for the demon.
I think so. Anybody who's been observant, ever since he kind of mentioned that he could bring people back from the dead, Remus has been kind of like a little wide-eyed.
Yeah.
Is very insistent about kind of sticking to him.
Okay. So he sits down and he starts to to eat. And he says, I guess the memories of Lawrence didn't really particularly like this type of burger with this combination. I'm finding it fascinating, but I guess Lawrence did not.
Yeah. So this is really weird talking about this but like how
it usually is.
Like
that's why you don't see many of us.
This is just beyond weird.
This is like Supernatural all over again. Without Dean and Sam.
Are you saying that in character?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Never did see that show.
Great show.
Well, you mentioned before the price for bringing somebody back from the dead. What is that price?
Well, that depends upon the individual that you're speaking to. It would not be uncommon for another less scrupulous fallen to give you the stereotypical deal of a soul for a soul.
What would you trade for it?
Why are you asking me?
You can. Oh, you said you're not omnipotent. There's one person I never got to save, and I'd like to, if I could, give them another chance.
Are you certain this individual survived into the Shadowlands?
I don't know. I don't know anything about anything. Every day of this this new existence is like it's finding that the kiddie pool extends for miles.
That's a fair
like,
analogy.
If it was possible, like, I don't know, could you check? How many burgers do I have to buy for you to check? I don't.
Let me deal with one problem at a time first.
Okay.
I will remain around for a little while after this particular issue has been resolved. And perhaps we can talk then.
That would be great. Thank you.
I got dibs first.
Meanwhile, Ben is like, yeah, he's gonna want a double with bacon, and he's just gonna order him
Just
like,
getting him loaded.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, oh, we got to have more spuds over here.
Yeah.
Carbo load.
Yep.
He's going to be satisfied.
Extra greasy.
Okay.
Flavor.
Those of you who go to the club.
Lots of homemade sauces.
So Club Karma is this trendy, upscale looking club. Looks like it probably jumped out of the 1980s, but modernized it. So it's got some of that nice glowing neon to it, but doesn't look like it's old and outdated. It's got some, catchy people on the outside, of course, waiting to get in. Number of cars, parked in its parking lot. It looks like it's the happening place.
I mean, I'm going to sit in the car and just also wait for Ben's caravan to show up. But while we're waiting, I'm going to pull out my water and my little classable bowl. Like,
yep.
And I am going to search for scry for Evil Sophie.
How are you going to scry for Evil Sophie?
Well, I met her. I'm wanting to see if
you have to have her true name, or you have to have an item
that's
from
true.
her. Evil, Dark Sophie. Is the fun name we named her.
I've got Ben. Can I just touch him? And since he was
okay. Do you have a handful of that skin that was in the back of my car? Does that
Did you leave it in the trunk? Like, I didn't take that skin. I don't remember taking skin.
It got shot.
Okay. All
turned
right.
into dust.
I'm gonna. Okay. Shit. I guess I can't scry for her then because I don't know her real name. Actually, I'm gonna ring Ben real quick.
Okay.
Is Sophie with him in the same car or no?
Nope. Sophie went to the club, if I understand correctly.
No,
right?
Sophie's with us.
Okay. Oh, actually, well then I'll ask Sophie then.
Okay.
Do you know her real name? Because I can search to see if she's even here.
Well, the one with the car chase that we had, her name is Juliet. But
is that her real name?
Yes.
Okay. Juliet
I
what?
have a last name. I'm sure I had Juliet Washington.
Do you happen to have anything of her? I mean, obviously you know about her. Do you have anything of hers? Potentially?
I mean, I took her shoes, but I
You took her shoes. I'm not surprised. They must have been really nice.
they were. Actually, I might still have them in the trunk. I think I was going to wait to see if they were possessed or anything before bringing them in my home.
Well then, would you mind going? Because in order for me to obviously properly try to find her, I need something. I either need her name. I already know what she looks like, or I need an item of her. That just helps really be specific as to where she's at.
I will go in my trunk and I will get the shoes.
Okay. So you pop the trunk and give me a self-control check. Two successes. Okay. So it only takes you like a couple seconds, but you shrug it off. You get kind of lost in looking at the magnificent glamour of the design of the shoe and the craftsmanship that went behind it.
I will bring the shoes to Damaris.
Okay.
Cool. Wow. Even I'm impressed.
I mean, they're very nice shoes.
Clearly, I'm glad you kept them. Okay, so then I will use the shoes and the name.
Trish, give me a self-control check.
Yeah, jeez. Okay.
Welcome to the clan of the rose.
Remind me what is.
For you, it's going to be difficulty 8. Self-control is under your virtues. It should be on the right-hand side towards the middle bottom of your character sheet.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Under advantages. Yeah.
No successes.
Okay. So literally just as Damaris pulls him up and looks at him, she's like, oh yeah, like it really would. You just kind of instinctively look over to see what it was they're talking about. And you're just like, and you just see like Trish get lost and just like, she's just staring in this contemplative, like you're contemplating everything about the artistic style of the shoe, the craftsmanship.
Wow.
It's like everything wrapped up in a shoe.
Look at Sophie. Is she one of you? 'Cause she really likes these shoes too.
Seeing everybody stare at a pair of shoes, I look over to see what's going on.
I'm technically not staring at the shoes. I'm holding one up and looking in a bowl of water. They're
really good shoes.
Hey, Vancouver by night. Yep. Holy crap, vampires. Lots of them too. We got 8 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a 3-inch black stiletto. Just a very
well made.
Very
well made. The material and everything, like everything you could possibly hope for. Like
they're probably leather.
It doesn't shine too much. It shines just enough. It's like it doesn't have any dirt on it. It's it's just the perfect type of shoe. And anybody who would like that sort of thing is just enamored. So unfortunately, Trish just kind of gets lost in it. And so Dahlia, when you look over, I mean, you've run into toreadors before that the art of it, right? But most of the time you've seen it because you were more in a college atmosphere. It was the museums, right? So it was like, don't let a toreador go into a museum alone. They're probably not going to get him back out, sort of thing. This is the first time you've ever seen, like a whole lot of oogling over like a well-crafted shoe. Just like, wow, okay.
I'm very confused.
I mean, you can see what it's worth. It's very clearly like a very high-end product.
Scientifically, I'm like, yeah, that's really well made, but why are you?
What's the big
deal?
Just let them have their moment.
Yeah, I know.
While they're oogling the shoes,
anyway, so.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and start scrying, and I am gonna burn a will for Nato.
Okay, so you guys see her pull out a collapsible bowl, pull out a bottle of water, and put some in there, and then she starts spinning it around with like a metal spoon.
Yep. Is there a difficulty 6 like normal or
difficulty 8?
Oh geez. Okay. 1, 2, 3. No
Okay.
10s. So.
Ah. Okay.
Hopefully I don't get mine screwed when I try to scry on her.
No, so you basically scroll in and you end up seeing you see Sophie at this point, but she's in like a nice black form-fitting slinky dress, done up to the nines sort of thing, and she's at another club.
Am I able to see anything like signs or coasters that have a club logo on it or name or anything like that?
Yeah. In fact, it's going to be on the nose, but let me get the name of the place real quick. The Incubus Club.
Appropriate.
Of course, yeah.
So you can see that. You can see the inside is very, Roman Catholic, done up sort of thing. It's but it's all like it's stonework, but black stonework.
Mm-hmm.
On the inside, so very kind of dark. But they've got the DJ up doing his thing. And she's kind of in the crowd and has got most of the faces, male and female, on her.
Does she notice me watching her at all? I'm just curious.
Not as far as you can tell.
Does she have anybody around her? I'm curious to see if she had the same people with her as at the club, whatever it was before. I forget what it is. Club Karma or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Club Karma.
As to the ones that are with her now, like is she flying solo?
I want to know if she has her entourage.
Yeah, no, she seems to be by herself.
Okay. As she's watching, she'll just speak out loud. She's not here. She is at the Incubus Club. Or sorry, the Succubus Club. I don't know what but Incubus.
Incubus.
Oh, it was Incubus. Okay.
Yep.
Is that in Ashland?
Yes.
So many clubs I don't
Sure,
know.
a lot
about.
of clubs. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
It is a big town.
She seems to be flying solo, but she's of course surrounded by people. No surprise. When her and Ben were necking at the club, like they might as well have almost been screwing against the wall.
I'm sorry, they were what?
She cornered him.
Snapped Trish out of her trance.
She cornered him.
What are we talking about now?
And basically, after he was feeding off of a girl, she got after him. I couldn't see who it was at first, and I was like, "No, just let him do his thing." I didn't know it was the bad version of you yet. And then realized after the fact. But basically, the whatever glamour she had on him was like, screw me against the wall, powerful, because that's what it was about. That was what was about to happen.
He knew it wasn't me, right?
He was, and I said, in a glamour of sorts. Like, I don't think he recognized it at first, because I didn't see it at first either. I can't speak for him. You'd have to talk to him about it. But when he finally separated from her, he seemed very much in a daze.
I'm gonna call Ben.
So at this point, you guys are on your way to the club. So Ben, you end up getting. Did you text or call?
I called. He's
before
driving.
we left.
Beep 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 beep.
I'm assuming that he's driving.
Boy, that's the beep. Hey, what's going on, Sophie?
Yeah. So Damaris did a scry and found evil Sophie at the Incubus Club at this moment.
Hey, all right. Get this done tonight.
Okay, I guess you probably should be careful.
Yeah. Don't let her talk
We
to you,
can-
like once we get there, just
We can
saying,
talk about this later.
yeah.
Is there
Are we
anything?
meeting there then?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're headed over there.
All right.
Is there anything else I should be looking for while I'm doing this? Like, while I'm in the moment, I've got everything, just double checking. Okay, speak now, forever hold your peace.
Is there anyone else there that we may know?
I'm looking. Do I recognize anybody else?
No.
No, it's just one of your standard clubs, I guess. She looks very cozy.
Does he,
Definitely a main attraction.
the guards, does they have weapons?
Well, I mean, they're bouncers. They probably have a stun gun in there or their fists. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I don't.
The guards have some basic tools, but nothing like a firearm or whatnot. So they've got tasers, they've got pepper
Very
spray.
basic.
Maybe we should try and clear the building. Maybe pull a fire alarm.
Then wouldn't she leave?
Are you talking to while you have been on the phone, or?
No, I would have
Okay.
hung up by now.
Okay.
If this individual is as dangerous as y'all are talking, why exactly would we want to go headlong into that?
To get rid of the problem so it doesn't keep popping up.
To prevent her from hurting anyone else, for one, and also, I have a reputation to uphold.
Also,
And she
Ben
looks-
drank from her. Like she's
I-
got his blood, or he's got her blood in his
Her
body.
blood.
So there's a bond there now.
Should we wait for the demon to come join us?
Well, isn't that the point? That's like why we're going to find her. I mean, I assumed that we would wait for said backup before we went.
No, I think
It just-
I think we should wait until they catch up with us. But if we're going to confront her here, I'd like to do it without all of these humans around.
So hold that thought. Now, eventually, as you guys are chatting and hammering all this out, Ben and company, you eventually come pulling up in the vehicle, not too far from where Sophie and everybody has kind of parked.
So what's the game plan?
And as everybody is kind of getting out, I guess initially, Cameo kind of looks up and looks around and he says, "Oh, you've spotted them."
So they are here then? You can feel them?
Yes,
Does that mean she can feel you?
perhaps. It would be better. It would be better if the rest of you waited.
What? So you're just going to walk in there and take care of all this?
Especially him. And she points to Ben.
No. If you tip your hand that I am working with you, this could all go awry. None of you are ready to deal with her yet.
So
What
you
exactly are you gonna do?
I'm going to test the water.
Should we just wait for a little bit and then go in after you?
No, just wait here a moment. Let me, like I said, let me see just who this is that we're dealing with.
Damaris, can you watch while you're sitting here?
Yeah. Technically, I'm still watching her. I haven't really stopped because I didn't know what else we were going to do. So
Before he goes in, I'm gonna say that like at least when I encountered her last, I don't know, everybody else was talking about how beautiful it was, but I didn't get that feeling. And normally that's what I'm kind of all about. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that could be?
Your friends are not wrong when when they say that there was a type of glamour in effect. We, however, cannot do that to one another.
Wait, but like the glamour didn't affect me though.
I couldn't say. And
Okay.
and with that he walks off. He's still dressed the way he was, and goes walking off to get into the club.
Can I use telepathy on somebody that's like just inside the club so that I can kind of watch?
You have to have eyesight on them. So if you attempted to do telepathy on somebody entering, you could.
Okay. I want to try that.
Sure, go ahead. And we're about ready to wrap here, guys.
Lily's gonna get a little bit closer to Ben and say, "You realize you have a bond with her, and she could use that."
I mean, okay, if I could get rid of it, I would.
6? Okay,
Is
yeah.
she
So
a vampire?
Yeah, so you hop, no problem, kind of like GoPro it, sort of, into the mind of somebody entering, the club. Kamel goes walking in, and Damaris, you end up seeing him, because you can also hear as well. You see him, come walking up. He kind of wades to the crowd, and people are parting a bit as he goes in. And, he looks, and she kind of looks at him, and she has this kind of like look of like, do I know you? And he motions for some, people to get out of the way, and goes up and plays the part of like he's about to dance with quote unquote Dark Sophie. And she says, Kamel?
Looking like a South Side soul.
Yeah, exactly. And he gives her a bit of a smirk, and he says, Triel, I was unaware that you were in Ashland. Why are you so far west? And she says, oh, just doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And he says, and they start conversing, making some small talk, nothing, super important. And then she says, I was unaware that you were back. And he says, I have connections. And she's like, so are we going to do something more fun later? And he says, perhaps. But let me get adjusted to this body first. And she's like, oh, well, you just don't know what you're missing. She says, and he's like, well, I'm certain you have followers already for that sort of thing. You don't need me for that. And she gives kind of like a knowing smirk. She says, prude. And he says, I'm sure we'll be seeing more of each other soon. And she's like, I hope so. And he goes walking out to, he eventually just goes walking out to exit, just more of a, a social visit sort of thing. But Damaris, you can see that she is keenly intent on watching him. Even though she's got all the eyes now, she is clearly interested in him at this point.
Mm-hmm. What is she doing? Is she following him out?
No,
Hopefully
she's still dancing, and doing her thing. And he comes walking out, and he says, now I know the enemy. I know how to help. And with that, we're going to stop for the night.
Yeah. She's writing that name down in like big capital letters in her book.
All right, guys, I'm going to need a candlelit restaurant. I'm going to need some slow jams.
The spelling of the name is Triel, but pronounced Triel.
Almost so close. Triel. Okay. Do I recognize the name Triel as one of the 12 or one of the fallen angels?
Actually, good. We'll leave off with this roll here. Okay. So anybody who has either religion or cult, give me an intelligence and a cult check, or religion check if you happen to have it. Either one's fine.
Where's religion?
I don't know
Difficulty
if
6.
anybody may have picked up specifically
Ow.
for angelic characters. They have religion.
I get 2.
Okay.
Dropping dice.
2.
Okay.
I'm rolling here in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thought, but no.
I can stop dropping dice.
Because this will actually be a good good stopping moment, because when I name drop,
4,
I'm pretty certain most people here are going to get it.
5, 6, 7.
7. Okay, so anybody basically get above a 2 who rolled?
Above a 2 or
Abby,
2
you're
successes,
muted.
yes.
I'm still rolling. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Occult and intelligence.
Four successes and 1 fail. Like
Okay.
the one, like
So
a 1.
3.
Okay, so 3 successes. So above a 2. Triel is another name for Beelzebub.
Okay.
Sweet.
that's a big
Rip.
name.
For the love.
Of
What
course,
did I do?
Beelzebub. Yeah, I was like, of course, Sophie. Like, you crossed Beelzebub at some point.
I guess this is where I mentioned that one of my flaws that I chose when I rolled up the character was
Pissed off at an angel.
enemy,
Oh.
and it was a 2-point enemy.
You know how to pick them.
I guess.
So
I thought it was
Beelzebub is your
Juliet.
2-point enemy.
How many abs does Beelzebub have?
Any abs?
Like
Probably
well,
as many
20.
Well, it's a female.
as
so,
many abs as Sophie has.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
how many abs do you have? Ladies can have abs.
Pretty sure they
The
have the
normal
same
number.
number of abs as men do.
Not according to Remus when it comes to Colin.
Yep. So,
Colin
Sophie's
has
husband
an
is all
extra.
abs.
so thank
75
you guys all
abs.
for tuning in. As Davy Jones said, "Wow!" at the very end.
Yeah.
So pulling a Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow.
So
Wow.
wow.
Wow, it's the devil. Wow.
Yeah. I love that meme. It was so cool. So the next game is going to be the 29th, which is tomorrow. That's our Marvel Superheroes game for Modern Age Heroes. So hopefully you tune in for that one. Then the next vampire game is actually Remember, the 5th of November. So that is obviously going to be a theme as well. I did this on purpose.
We have to fight Guy Fawkes.
Yes. No, Beelzebub in a Guy Fawkes mask.
Nice.
We're doomed.
So
V for
Oh,
Vendetta.
goodness.
Yep, V for Vendetta.
There's
So
gonna be lots of fire.
So Ashland Blood Ties will be taking place on the 5th of November. And then our next Ashland by Night game will be the following weekend, which will be Friday the 11th, November 11th. So hope to see you guys there again soon. We had some folks who stayed with us and chatted with us a bit. Hope you guys had fun. I had some
a blast.
interesting
fun.
reveals there. Poor Trish kind of coming along
She
with
is
the ride.
so like she is so confused. Like she's like, this is
Mind
why
blown.
I stay away from everybody. Don't deal with this crap.
Ashland is a special place.
I'm quite surprised she's stuck around as long as she has, to be honest.
I have a there was probably 3 times tonight where she just wanted to be like, all right, I'm gone. Like I'm out. Peace.
That's Remus on a nightly basis.
For real.
Yeah.
The demon calls me out. He's like, "Yes, and your murderous spree here, all but one." I'm like, "You bastard!" It's like, I've been good. I murdered very few. Come on.
Well, the context was accurate because you
Oh,
guys
no.
were like talking about, oh, well, what's truly evil and a murderous type of, and so then he was thinking about it. He's like, well, wait. I mean,
There is him.
Yeah.
all right, well, cool. We'll go ahead and stop the stream there. Get you guys next time. And goodbye. Good night, guys. Bye.
Night.
Hi, everybody. Wow.
There we go.